Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to do a recap of the third season of the anime series called Hunter x Hunter. Kurapika faces off against Phantom Troop and Gon and Killua look to get Greed Island. As Gon and Killua leave Whale Island, Kurapika tries to look for a job before setting out to avenge his comrades. He approaches the agency, but the woman inside refuses, as Kurapika lacks something else. She uses Nen to test if he can see it, but when it's obvious he can't, the agent suggests Kurapika should come back once he learns. In the forest, someone attacks him and introduces himself as Maizuken. He challenges Kurapika to a fight, but Kurapika loses. Maizuken tells Kurapika to come with him, as he is willing to be his teacher. After some training of Nen, Maizuken tests Kurapika with water divination to learn which category Kurapika's aura belongs. Kurapika then uses Ren and something forms inside the glass. Maizuken confirms that Kurapika is a conjurer. He then rates his ability to learn other Nen types. Kurapika leaves Maizuken after learning Nen and comes back to the Sengi Guild to find a job. The agent finally accepts Kurapika and lets him choose which employer he wants to work for. He chooses the one who collects human trophies. He leaves the agency after his decision and crosses paths with Melody, who hears his unstable heartbeat. In the Sengi Guild, Melody is seen talking with the same agent Kurapika talked to. Melody requests an employer who has connections with the York New City's underground auction on September 1st. Meanwhile, a young lady is seen escorting her employer. They are suddenly confronted by four men, who mockingly comment that a lady isn't fit for being a bodyguard. Baze, the woman, kisses the leader all of a sudden with her Nen ability, Instant Lover, and orders him to attack his companions. The employer, afraid of Baze's Nen ability, runs off. She lets him leave and thinks to herself that she needs to find a new job. In another place, a man is standing on top of a building writing a haiku. He is then approached by police officers who order him to return the corpse samples that he stole. The man, Basho, attacks the police and continues writing his haiku. In a garden, Squala talks with his girlfriend Eliza on his cell phone, while surrounded by lots of dogs. Kurapika arrives in front of the mansion's gate and he is welcomed by the butler. The butler takes him to a room, where other bodyguards are waiting. Now that everyone is present, the butler turns on a video of Dalzaline, the main bodyguard, and he explains the requirements. There's only 1 month before the auction begins and the bodyguards will be qualified if they successfully retrieve the sample they are assigned to get. After drawing lots, the bodyguards try to exit through the door, but it won't open. They are suddenly attacked by men who wear black clothes and use swords as weapons. Kurapika then prepares his chains for battle. To escape the mansion, Kurapika and the others must fight the mysterious assailants. Kurapika find that a fellow applicant Shashmono Tsuno using his Nen created the assailant and is controlling them. Once busted, Shashmono quickly reveals that he is working for their boss and was being instructed by him to test their skills. Kurapika and the others suspect that there is another cohort, and so to determine who the other one is, Kurapika uses his dowsing chain. He points his chain to each of the applicants and the chain reacts when it points to Squala. Melody uses her ability and confirms this, but Squala accuses Kurapika. Basho uses his technique called Great Haiku. And Squala finally gives up and admits that he is the other cohort. Yet he is still not willing to cooperate. Baze uses her ability Instant Lover, making Squala reveal the whole plan. Meanwhile, Miluki receives the memory card from Killua and starts deciphering the data. He also sends the URL of the Hunter-only website to Killua via an eagle. Gon and Killua are about to arrive in York New City and are 2 weeks away from meeting Leorio and Kurapika. The two will also gather information about Greed Island, and in the middle of their conversation, the message containing the URL arrives. After arriving at York New City, Gon and Killua visit an internet cafe to gather more information on Greed Island. After entering the URL for the Hunter-only website that Miluki had given Killua, the two successfully access the Hunter website. The two learn that Greed Island is a game created by Nen practitioners. Each copy of the game has Nen infused within it, and to play the game, the player must also be a Nen user. Once a player starts the game, they are pulled into the world of Greed Island. Players cannot simply leave the game by cutting the power to the console. If you die within the game, you die in real life. They need money to buy the game off of an auction and start to raise funds but are unsuccessful. Meanwhile, at Nostrade's mansion, Kurapika and 3 other applicants brought in the items from the item hunt. The head bodyguard, Dalzaline, hires all of them on the spot. He explains what their first mission will be: escorting the boss, the young woman, Neon Nostrade, to a hotel in York New. All the members of the Phantom Troop have gathered. They plan to take everything from underground auction. Looking off into the sunset, Kurapika is certain that the Phantom Troop will make an appearance at the auction. Gon and Killua meet up with Leorio and try to make some money. The Nostrade bodyguards have been assigned to their positions regarding the auction that will be held tonight. The auction is about to begin as Kurapika and Melody stand at their positions and have an intimate chat. He tells her everything about himself and the Scarlet Eyes and learns that she was badly injured after hearing Dark Sonata. She wants to restore her body, find the complete sonata and destroy it so that no other person will suffer the same tragedy. Phantom Troop attack the auction, and Kurapika contacts Dalzaline to report the current situation at the auction house. Phantom Troop escapes with a hot air balloon. Uvogin informs their leader that the merchandise was gone before they arrived at the safe and suspects that there is a traitor. Their leader Krolo Lucifer believes that there is no traitor. They learn that the Shadow Beasts, an elite group of assassins under the 10 Dons, have been called in to deal with them and that a member of the Shadow Beasts was the one responsible for emptying the safe beforehand. Later the Nostrade bodyguards watch Uvogin take on the Mafia community alone, as Worm, Rabid Dog, Leech, and Porcupine, members of the Shadow Beasts, appear. The Shadow Beasts confidently say that they will handle the Phantom Troop and enter the battlefield but are taken down. With the Shadow Beasts down, Kurapika, with his eyes burning scarlet, tries to move in. He is stopped by Dalzaline. Using his chain jail, Kurapika pulls Uvogin out from the crater and takes off with the rest of the Nostrade family by car. The remaining Shadow Beast attack Phantom Troop but are killed and Owl is tortured for Treasure's location. The Nostrade bodyguards interrogate Uvogin. In an abandoned amusement park, Hisoka meets with Kurapika. Hisoka tells Kurapika the things he knows about the Phantom Troop and asks him if he wants to team up. If he agrees, he will tell him the abilities of the 7 Phantom Troop members he knows. Phantom Troop arrives and free Uvogin. Uvogin exclaims that he still wants to fight Kurapika. Kurapika learns Uvogin escaped and tells Hisoka to meet in the same place tomorrow. The Nostrade family restructures and plans their next move. Uvogin starts looking for Kurapika. Gon, Killua, and Leorio look for other ways to make some money. They come to get a wanted poster for Phantom Troop. Here are incredibly huge rewards for them dead or alive. They call Kurapika to tell him about the bounty on the troop, but he doesn't answer. He stands face to face with Uvogin. Uvogin finally finds Kurapika, and on Kurapika's preference, the two go to a deserted wasteland. Kurapika seeks vengeance for his fallen brethren by facing Uvogin. The battle results in Uvogin's death. Gon, Killua, and Leorio pursue the Phantom Troop as Gon uses his hunter license to make money and gather information about the troop and Greed Island. As their search for funds continues, Gon and Killua befriend the antique trader Zepile, who saves them from being scammed. Gon, Killua, and Leorio head to the location where 2 Phantom Troop members were spotted. Gon and Killua trail 2 members of the Phantom Troop, only to be captured. Shanark and Krolo gather information about the Nostrade family, knowing that the chain user is working for them, and Krolo becomes interested in Neon Nostrade. At the hotel, Light Nostrade advises his bodyguards to keep his daughter safe at all costs. The Phantom Troop question Gon and Killua about the chain user, and that's when Killua realizes he could be Kurapika. Then they manage to escape and decide to find Kurapika and ask him to teach them more about Nen so they could fight against the Phantom Troop. Neon escapes, entering the auction with Krolo's help, who later steals her fortune-telling ability and starts to cause havoc. The 10 Dons had hired assassins to deal with Phantom Troop, but they are no match, except for Zeno and Silva, who fight Krolo. 10 Dons are revealed to have been killed by Illumi. From the debris inside the basement, Zeno and Krolo emerge with little damage. Illumi tells Silva to relay a message to Krolo, to write the payment to Illumi's account. Zeno turns to leave, and when Krolo asks why, Zeno explains that the 10 Dons were their clients and now that they are killed, Krolo is not their target anymore. When Zeno and Silva have left, Krolo collapses on the floor and is disappointed for not being able to steal their abilities. Kurapika is informed that the leader of the Phantom Troop is dead. Kurapika meets up with Gon and Killua. While they are having a picnic, Gon makes Kurapika realize that he can now concentrate on his main goal, getting the eyes of his people back. Kurapika reveals his Nen ability and explains why he must not use it against anyone other than the troop. Krolo uses his new fortune-telling ability to read the futures of the various troop members. Kurapika receives a message that Krolo isn't dead, as previously thought. Krolo uses his new ability to predict the future of all of his group members. He predicts that Hisoka is a traitor. Hisoka in his turn changes his fortune and deceives Krolo into staying rather than leaving. Krolo uses Neon to find the chain user, Kurapika. Meanwhile, Killua keeps an eye on the Phantom Troop base and is joined by Melody, who discovers the troop is headed towards Kurapika's hotel. The troop finally closes in on Kurapika. Gon and Killua are captured by Phantom Troop. Kurapika, Melody, and Leorio hatch a plan to capture Krolo and use him as leverage to force the remaining Phantom Troop members to release Gon and Killua. Kurapika negotiates with Pakunoda to secure the exchange of Gon and Killua. After the trade, Krolo is now free, and Hisoka challenges him to a duel. But Krolo says that he is not worth fighting since he cannot use his Nen for now. This shocks Hisoka and he leaves immediately. He claims that he is not interested in broken toys. On the next day, Gon and Killua are seen discussing their plan on getting the Greed Island game and going to the auction. And that's all for today, guys. If you like the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.